Hi. It is the second to last day of August. It is August 30th. You are here either for the monthly read, hey, or you're here for the Cosmo Channeling meetup, hey. I was just saying, in case I blow up this year or subsequent years in Glossier, she says it's Glossier. A lip balm, okay. Lip gloss, really. And it apparently has hydrochloric acid, or maybe whatever the one you can use. I don't know if hydrochloric acid is the one you can use. But my makeup artist who works there gave it to me, and it has been working. So thank you, Glossier. Okay, I also said I had Lake Street Drive second in the head, which is true. So I'm just going to sing a little riff on that, and then we're just going to get into this reading because it's Virgo season. Down to business is the business. Okay. So what does it go? It goes, could it be true? Could it be true to say you go through my head? Or is it sentimental phrase? Oh, I could say you make it fit to go to bed. But then it's you that breaks the bed. And I'm afraid to do so. And I am too sober not to know that you may be my problem, not my love. But you go down smooth. Cause you go down smooth. My dog nephew. If you go down smooth. Anyways, Lakesview Drive, you go down smooth, then she goes down smooth. Thank you. Thank you to the range. Thank you to my ancestors who gave me the range. Thank you to Ebony Janice, who created the pedagogy of the range. Okay. Thank you to all the fantastic people who brought me here today. My dog nephew wants me to play ball because that's what he likes to do. But we're going to get into this reading. Yes, we are. Okay, I'm so excited for some reason. Let's tell story time. Okay, so story time. And one day I'll be on Tatiana Tarot, the homie Tatiana Tarot's level, where people drop in the comments the time signatures where they're like church notes, and then they break down the different things. So one day we'll get there. But right now we're at some personal story. My mother is a Course in Miracles Christian, which if you know, you know, and if you don't, you Google. Don't judge it all on Marianne Williamson. Don't judge it all on the story. But there's this book called The Course in Miracles, which is, let's say, an addendum. Oh, thank you. Which is an addendum to, dare I say, the Bible? It's an addendum to the Bible. It's still very Christiany, just like Abraham Hicks is very Christiany, but Course in Miracles. Anyways, my mother all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, because my mom had this box of books at about 10 years, or let's say like, it's probably like 10, maybe like 8 years into my card reading career. My mom gave me this box that she had just had in the closet. It had a Taoism book, it had a tarot book, it had like a past life regression book. It had every fucking book I would need for my work. But I got to the work before she gave me the book. But anyway, so she was watching this um, NDE, near death experience video interview with this Black woman who had been like super Christian. And then she had an allergic reaction to some topical thing she had put on her body, and her skin fucking burned off. And she went into a coma, and she had all these experiences. And something that someone, and I don't know when this video was made, it could have easily been made like 5 years ago or something, but like meaning prior to the pandemic and everything. But something that she says, because the interviewer was like, my audience wants to know, should we be concerned about the end times? And she's like, if I were still Christian, she was like, and I believed in polarity and division in that way, then yes, I would be one of those people preparing. But what you said was like everybody who is in alignment with existence, with themselves in existence, with all that is going to be fine no matter what happens. So I say that to preface that this reading may seem very positive, even though we're going into the fall and we know what the fall brings, okay? But at the same time, if you are in your lane, nothing can take you from your path because you are your path, okay? And even if someone or yourself or existence, because of happenstance, were to take you out of your incarnate body, you would still be yourself. And the evidence of that is near death experiences, etc., etc. Mediumship, other motherfucking phenomena, motherfucking dreams, bitch. Anyways, life is rich. Okay. Just because humanity is stingy doesn't mean life isn't rich. Okay. So our usual suspect, visions and liminal space, is coming through for the C.O.A and the key. Is it the key card? No. Is it door? Who's the key? Who's the key? Okay. And our key card is going to come from this is like a mouthful, this deck. The Messenger's Delivery Plant and Animal Oracle Deck. Okay. So that will be for my cards and channeling, doing the most meetup people. But this deck is for everybody who joins us on YouTube. If you want more access, if you want individual readings, if you want access to the key card, then you, dear YouTuber, should come over to Patreon. You could subscribe for $10 if you want a reading once a month. It's my most affordable reading, honestly. Okay, let's see who is coming to play. No. And they have more shuffling to do in the end. I don't. Okay. So visions in liminal space, C.O.A. The concern is the C, the opportunity, and the obstacle is the O, and the advantage or the aversion is the A. Our concern is what is objectively going on. We have acceptance is the answer. You know, I love this card. First of all, it's just like a simple cup of water next to a simple chair in a simple home, with a simple window and a simple vista. Okay. And you know what? Now that we're here, I'm like, what the fuck is the etymology of simple? Because I sure have never looked it up. Simple. Let's see. Maybe random, maybe profound. Simple adjectives came into English circa 1200. At that time, that free from duplicity, upright, guileless, blameless, innocently harmless. Also, ignorant, uneducated, unsophisticated, simple-minded, or foolish. Interesting how that's the positive and negative spectrum of a fool. And then it says also as a surname, fascinating. From Old French, simple spelled the same way, probably said simple. And that language in French meant plain, decent, friendly, sweet, naive, foolish, or stupid. Because obviously to be friendly would be stupid in a nihilistic world where everyone is out to get you in a Machiavellian way. And then hence, okay, I love that it says hence, it also meant wretched and miserable. From Latin, of course, simplest or simplex. And that language in Latin meant simple, plain, unmixed. Interesting. Literally, one fold. And then it says, see, simplex. What? Simplex predates simple. Let's check it out. Simplex, adjective, characterized by a single part. Okay, to be whole, my motherfuckers. And then it says from Latin simplex, single, simple, plain, unmixed, uncompounded, literally one fold, from Proto-Indo-European compound of the root sem, meaning one as one together with the fold. Wow. Together with a fold. And then that itself comes from a different root that means to plait. To plait with. To braid, bitch. To weave, huh? Okay. So simple, Simple is not simple. Simple is like, well, maybe it is though, actually, because it's like the basic makeup that keeps things together. Which is the lack of awareness to even separate yourself, right? Which people would consider stupid in a nihilistic, cis-white patriarchal world where everybody is basically surviving by the skin of their teeth. So what's interesting about that is that as simple as the answer may be, it is us that make ourselves complex and us that make us unaligned with the simple truth, which is that all things exist. Which is why actually I love that I look at the etymology, because when I see this part as a concern, when I say you don't have to invalidate what you don't prefer, I also mean like it is not your job and it is not your business to eradicate from the earth what you do not think should be here. It is your business to be an example of the other things that people can choose than what you don't prefer. And in being the example of what other people can choose other than what you don't prefer, you can allow them to make an informed, autonomous choice as to whether they fuck with what the fuck you're talking about, as opposed to this idea of oppressing for the good of people, right? You will know this truth, or you will accept this, or you will do this. You know, that obviously doesn't work. People hella resent that shit. Even if it's good for them, they don't remember that first. They remember the fact that it was forced upon them. So it's very important with acceptance as the answer to just realize that shit you don't appreciate gets to exist. And it gets to be appreciated by other people, even if you don't appreciate that. At the same time, being the embodiment, not even the example, but being an embodiment of what you do prefer puts more evidence in the world as to why that is more beneficial to the perceiver to choose than any alternative, or than the alternative you prefer the least. Okay. But acceptance of the answer is very much there to be like, when will you get back to yourself? How many excuses will you put between yourself and what you know yourself is most preferred or aligned or necessitated to do? And how long will you allow what anyone, everyone, or anybody else say to deter you from what you already know about yourself? That's big questions, and this acceptance is the answer. Because of course, to accept others, you have to accept yourself. And if you want to accept yourself, then of course you're not going to accept others. And that's just because you can't do anything outside of you that you're not doing internally, because it all comes from between your temples, as I like to say. Now, our opportunity or obstacle card is like, what about this concern are we using as a stepping stone or as a roadblock? I haven't turned it over yet. I don't need to change it. Yeah. They know not what they do. Look at that. Caution, caution, caution. Do not pull. The exact thing this motherfucker's doing, okay? So, this is the advantage. First of all, the advantage is that they're people who are doing shit you don't prefer are setting an example to you so that you don't end up like them or any closer to them than you want to be. But also, don't follow motherfuckers who are doing shit you don't want to do, because when shit pops off, you're going to be closer to them than anyone else. And that means that you're still going to be in a situation where you have to deal with them, whether you appreciate them or not. The more that you allow what you don't appreciate to exist, but also affirm what you prefer in the face of that without insisting that whatever is witness to your affirmation needs to agree with you, the further away you are from those who don't know what they're doing. Okay. Those who don't know what they're doing, the simple, the platers, the one who need to weave it all together, because there is a binary quality to simplicity, right? Or complexity. There's a binary quality to simplicity, which it says hilariously is compared to duplex, of course. Though we wouldn't know from how simple has evolved in the English language. But for those who need it to be one thing and don't allow that one thing to be dynamic or multifaceted or multidimensional or multicultural or multi anything, right? This idea that one thing can't be all things. This is the most troubling, this is like the most worrying aspect of our nihilism, right? Like that one thing can't be all things, that the paradox can't exist, the denial of the paradox, right? The denial of the fact that there are many things and yet they are one thing. It's going to lead you down the path of division, which obviously will educate you and teach you. But the longer that you resent how you are being taught by what you don't prefer, the less that you're going to get out of what you don't prefer in the immediate sense. I should say the less that the version of you who is in the present is going to get out of it. Obviously, a future version of you will cash in whatever shit you don't use. But for the version of you now, who's the one who's like, let's say, feeling, aka, or suffering the feelings, it's important that you put yourself in a position, an optimal position, to be the version of yourself that is most equipped to deal with what is, without making being equipped oppression. You know what I'm saying? Like acceptance that you are in control of yourself and no one else is the answer. But also the fact that other people don't know that is their folly. It doesn't have to be your folly, it's their fucking folly. They're the ones that don't know. So stop acting like they know something that they don't, and giving them all this gas. You know, it's so interesting. The way that people go about trying to implement change is so forceful and so controlling and so distrusting and so manipulative. It is no wonder that even when a good thing is selling itself, people don't believe it, because essentially the mass willingness to oppress causes just like fucking hysteria. And also an inability to like be coherent, actually, which is also simplex. Okay? Being coherent. I'm sure that's related to like oneness in some way. I'm not going to look it up right now because I'm on a roll. Okay. Last but not least, we have the advantage of the aversion. What about your character is helping or hurting the situation? It does not need to change. So let your edges be liquid. Okay. I always say that water takes the shape of whatever you put it in, and time holds the shape of whatever you use it for, right? If you use time to do shit you don't want to do, that's the shape it has. If you use time to do shit you want to do, that's the shape it has, which means that that's the shape that existence has, because obviously time is 1/4 of how we perceive reality. And actually, because of patriarchy and classism and nihilism, it is actually where we focus our sense of understanding and reality. But about your character is that obviously you're sanctioned by existence. The prime radiant theory is that everything is one thing, right? When one atom moving at infinite speed for infinite time, creating all matter and all material and all perspective. So at the end of the day, you always have that common denominator to fall back on, which allows you to come back to that 0 point of consciousness awareness, where you ask yourself in the present self, who am I now? And do I like doing what I'm doing? And if I don't like doing what it was the me of now prefer to do? And then answering that question, and then starting from there, as opposed to saying, because I have done shit in the past, I must now do that shit again. According to the fuck who?